Dear ministers, dear commissioners, dear participants, welcome to this event, to this Solidarity Conference on the Venezuela refugee and migration crisis. Sorry to hassle you, all of you, a little bit, but time is very short and we want to make the best use of the time we have available here. First of all, let me please make some housekeeping announcements. First, we have here interpretation, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So those who need, you switch on the headphones. May I remind you also, please switch off your cell phones now. Please, for those who take the floor and for those who intervene, think of that this is a public event. So at the moment you speak, so you appear on the screen. We have also journalists invited, so this event is listened to by journalists in a parallel room. We have also a listening room where other colleagues or those who have not been able to register can listen, and the event is also web streamed. So it is a public event and we have been looking to give as much publicity as we can. On the timing, I already said timing is very sharp. We have for this session from 2 to 6. We have to close at 6 sharp because at 6:15 the official opening of the high-level event will start. So everything has to be very much on time. We will start with on the housekeeping. So you have folder for participants with some information. Some additional papers will be available in front of the door. So now to the program. So we will start by the welcoming remark by our Commissioner STYLIANIDES and Commissioner Mimica, and the keynote address of Mr. Eduardo Stein, the joint UNHCR-IOM special representative for this crisis. Then we will go immediately into the first panel sessions from 2:30 until 4:10. We will have a 20 minutes coffee break from 4:10 to 4:30, and then we will go to the second panel from 4:30 to 6. So, and then 6, as I said before, we will close this session, the thematic sessions, and open the high-level segment of this event. In the evening, also in the high levels, in this official opening, everybody is welcome. It's as public as any other part of this conference. We have, after this, the official opening, there will be a dinner for the heads of delegations. This is in another place in the Bibliothèque Solvay, and we have organized some shuttle buses going there. For all other participants, we will have a walking dinner, which will be at the first floor of this building. So also thought of a networking dinner so that people can talk to each other. So thank you very much for your attention. In order to open the session now, I would ask Commissioner STYLIANIDES to the floor to address his welcome remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, sorry for my hard voice. I'm a little bit sick. It's a consequence of this really strange weather condition in Brussels. I'm a Mediterranean. So, Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels, first of all. And the title of this conference speaks for itself and also describes precisely the reason for being here today together. We all stand united in full solidarity with the people of Venezuela and, of course, with the neighboring countries. Thank you very much for responding to the call and for joining us today. And thank you also to our colleagues in DG ECHO who coordinated the organization of this thematic part of this conference, of EAS, DG DEFCO, and our colleagues from UNHCR and IOM. Really excellent cooperation in putting together today's sessions. I would like to especially thank the joint UNHCR and IOM Special Representative Eduardo Stein for his presence. We are looking forward to his speech shortly. Dear colleagues, we are starting this conference with two specific thematic panels, aiming to highlight the multiple challenges faced by countries and the region as a whole. The outcome of these sessions will inform the discussion of our high-level meetings later tonight and tomorrow morning. There is no doubt about the challenges the Venezuela crisis presents. Firstly, the region's capacities to receive and integrate refugees and migrants, how the crisis affects the neighboring countries' social and economic structures, and finally, the key importance of a regionally coordinated response. During the conference, we must find ways to first build on the good practices implemented by the regional actors, set clear priorities, and of course explore opportunities for more targeted and coordinated international support that will take everyone on board: governments, international organizations, civil society, and of course the private sector. But dear friends, to do so we must see where we stand today. Venezuela has spiraled into a deep political and humanitarian crisis. Economic collapse, hyperinflation and severe restrictions on imports, and the humanitarian situation is deteriorating day by day. Availability and access to food, medicines, and other basic goods have become a distant reality for more than 10 million Venezuelans. 5,000 people continue to leave the country on a daily basis. So far, more than 4 million Venezuelans have already been displaced to escape violence, repression, and poverty. I personally visited the region in March last year at the border between Colombia and Venezuela, the Pon Bolivar Bridge. I talked to refugees. I worked with them on this famous bridge. I discussed the situation with former President Santos and other officials, so I know very well how difficult the situation is. Venezuela's neighboring countries are sharing a huge burden. I would like to commend the generosity of these countries in welcoming and hosting the refugees. They open the doors of their schools, of their hospitals and businesses to suffering Venezuelans, to cover basic needs for healthcare, education and livelihoods. These countries have shown strong solidarity. They have honored their legal and moral responsibility to host, regularize and integrate their neighbors, despite their own limited social and economic resources. Dear friends, the European Union has also shown strong solidarity. Since the beginning of the crisis in 2016, the European Union has been at the forefront, politically, by providing the necessary assistance to the people of Venezuela and to the neighboring countries. European Union solidarity is concrete, is tangible. From the outset, the EU has expressed its strong and principled support for a political solution to the Venezuela crisis a solution which is democratic, peaceful, and Venezuela-owned. In this spirit, and with the initiative of my dear colleague, High Representative Federica Mogherini, we established the International Contact Group to promote a peaceful and democratic solution to this crisis and pave the way for free and fair presidential elections. At the same time, we enhanced our financial assistance and we initiate the establishment of a subgroup on humanitarian affairs operating within ICG to promote a needs-based humanitarian assistance grounded on our humanitarian principles. Since 2018, the European Union has allocated around €172 million in humanitarian and development assistance for needs inside Venezuela and the region. €89 million of this funding has been allocated to meet the most pressing humanitarian needs: healthcare, food, shelter, protection and education. But also to enhance the resilience of vulnerable refugees and, of course, the host communities. Dear colleagues, today we are here to send a strong message to all Venezuelans. They are not forgotten. They are not alone. The EU's message is sound and clear. The Venezuela crisis is a top priority for the European Union. We will do our best to maintain a similar level of political and financial engagement next year. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. May I invite now Commissioner Neven Mimica to the podium, please, to deliver his welcome speech. Commissioner Mimica is the European Commissioner for Development Cooperation. Please.
So, very good afternoon, Excellencies, Ministers, distinguished participants, dear colleagues and friends. Thank you very much, Christos, for your words. I fully agree with you that the title of this conference could not better describe our reason for being here today. The word solidarity, in particular, is fitting. Solidarity is the essence of who we are as Europeans. It is also the very foundation on which the European Union was built on all those years ago in a devastated post-war continent. And it remains, to this day, as relevant and as necessary as ever in both our internal and external actions. Despite being the world's second biggest displacement crisis, Venezuela's migrant and refugee crisis is not grabbing daily headlines. making the link with and complement the humanitarian interventions. Much has been done already. Since 2018, EU development support to this crisis was amounted to nearly 46 million euros. Let me give you some examples. A 16 million euros project, Cities of Solidarity, to support efforts by local governments in neighboring countries to integrate vulnerable migrants and refugees. 10 million euros aiming at leveraging a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank of nearly 15 times that amount to Colombia, one of the countries hardest hit by the crisis. This loan will strengthen Colombia's migration assistance system in order to better integrate migrants and refugees in local labour markets. These are only some examples of our commitment to working with all different stakeholders, local communities and administrations, civil society, the private sector and partner governments. Dear colleagues and friends, all of this to say that the Venezuelan people and host communities across the region have the European Union's unflinching support. We will endeavour to maintain our commitment in the future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for your